And we're back in the room, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to the Caiman Show. I have a treat for all you local Welsh people today, for all you people worldwide, in fact, but they're Welsh boys like myself. Joining me today, we have a band, a Cardiff-based rock band coming at us. You'll probably catch them in places like Fuel, stuff like that, also on the festival scene. Give it up for my friends, now yours, Ravenbreed. We've got Mikey, who does guitar. We've got Ross, who does the bass. Gentlemen, how are you? And welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having us, dude. We're really good. How are you?
Yeah, it's surviving, man. It's been a rough old year and a bit, but I'm still breathing air, so that's half the battle, I think.
What's happened this past year? I haven't noticed anything.
Yeah, well, nothing at all, man. That's the problem, I think it's just been on standstill, but things are starting to open up again now. So we're getting those first steps back to freedom again. So hopefully you boys will be out gigging again very soon, if you aren't already.
Oh no, we can only hope. I mean, we've done a few virtual things, which have been great, and a lot of learning curves in it as well. But it'd be very good to physically get back out there. It'd be really, really good.
Good, man. Yeah. Well, fingers crossed, sooner rather than later. I'm in a band myself as well. We just do covers now. I've done all the originals and that. It's a tough old slog, boys. So my glasses are off you. I don't have a hat, unfortunately. But it's a tough old slog, and kudos and respect to you for what you're doing. So let's talk a little about the band anyway. So obviously lockdown has kicked you guys in the bollocks a little bit, as it has with all of us.
Yeah.
How's that been for you? A lot of people have said that they've used it to their advantage. They thought, right, we'll concentrate on writing, we'll concentrate on perhaps recording and that. You mentioned you've done a few virtual bits and pieces. What's been going on with lockdown?
Yeah, to be honest, dude, it's been really kind of it's been productive in some ways and maybe not so much in others, in the sense that we've been able to kind of write a little bit, get some more material out, but the difficulty, I suppose, is kind of connecting as a group and kind of coming together and doing those normal like band rehearsal type things. We just haven't been able to do them. So we've had to do a lot of it digitally, and it's a kind of, that's a learning process in itself, trying to kind of understand how you can work in this kind of environment and still create kind of something meaningful and have that meaningful sort of connection. Because I think as a band we've always gelled really well in a practice room. When we come to write, we've got an idea, or somebody comes with an idea, and we evolve it as a group, and we tend to kind of work on things like that. Certainly since Luke has been in the band, so we've had a very good run up to our first couple of gigs with Luke, and then lockdown happened and we couldn't gig for love nor money, so which is obviously the safest and the right thing to do, but it was really bad timing for us because we were really excited about Luke had just joined the band. So kind of backtracking a little bit, right around the time we went to play Hard Rock Hell in 2019, we had a lineup change and Luke joined the band in December, so we played that in October, I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ross. And Luke joined the band kind of mid-December-ish, I think it was. So we got in a lot of rehearsals with him, managed to get to sort of a gig ready kind of set stage, and we managed to get out and do a couple of gigs, brilliant gigs, both of them. We had fantastic reception up in Blackpool, and then our first sort of, I suppose, home gig in a way in Swansea down in Hangar 18, with our good buddies Scarlet Rebels. That we had a really good reception there as well, for Luke's kind of first official Welsh gig, I suppose. So that was kind of really positive, and then things, like I say, had to kind of take a step back. So we've used the time as much as we can to write, and we've tried to get involved with some really good things, like the Breaking Bands Festival, virtual festival was brilliant. It was such a good event, and those guys are class anyway. We played their event the first time in 2019 and absolutely loved it, because it's a kind of events like that, and I think there are a lot of those kinds of things. Like Love Rocks is another good one we did. Redemption Festival was another one we did, and like all of those how to say, sort of grassroots type events were really well organized, really kind of, you had a genuine feeling of passion for the music as well, which is kind of quite hard to find sometimes. You know, for new bands, new music, established bands, it's, you know, obviously a different thing, but yeah, certainly for us, we were kind of really excited to get out and do those sorts of events, with Luke obviously joining the band, so we were kind of looking forward to those things. So the virtual kind of versions of those have gone pretty well, as you know, as far as we can tell. People really enjoyed some of the things that we did. We did some stuff for Wildfire, an acoustic sort of set for those guys as well. So yeah, in general, it's been a kind of a bit of a strange thing, because we managed to get in and do some recording in the summer when things eased up last year.
Yeah, for about 5 minutes for a heartbeat. Yeah.
yeah. So we managed to go in and do some recording, basically put an EP together, and we released the EP in February this year. So we managed to kind of do, in between all of the lockdowns and stuff, we managed to get everything sort of together to get that out. And so yeah, it's been up and down, man, but it's been, like, I think in general it's been a positive sort of thing. We've been able to do a
positive negative.
Yeah. We've been able to use the time quite well.
Excellent stuff. And you recorded that EP during lockdown, is that right?
Yeah, well, it was technically, I mean, Ross, when do you remember exactly when we went in? I think it was July, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think July, August time. It was when Wales in particular had very, very low cases and things were looking a lot normal. And so that's when we decided with our producer, like, okay, let's go in and let's do it, because it seems safe. Obviously have the masks, do the whole sanitization, but we could easily go to Subway and sit in and eat.
Yeah.
You know, it's like until we get to that point, we felt that's when it was sort of safe to do so. So yeah, it was around that summertime, and yeah, we nailed it in 2 weekends, I think. The great fun. It was just great. It was great, because also before that, being in lockdown, we couldn't even rehearse. And one of the tracks, Echoes, was done without rehearsal, without practicing. It was all done like this, you know, just playing and sending each other files. So it's quite a special song, that, when it genuinely is a lockdown song. It's not.
Yeah, literally.
But it is literally, yeah, we didn't get together and play that.
Brilliant, man.
I always forget that. I know. That's the case.
Yeah,
it's crazy, and it's crazy. It's like in desperate times, people, well, you just have to change, don't you? You just have to change the whole scene, like, you know, things that you wouldn't do ordinarily day to day. Like you were mentioning earlier on, Mikey, just this, like, it's almost like being in a band to me is almost like a brotherhood of sorts, you know. You get together, you're a family. You've all got your traits. Some be good, some be bad, in my experience. But you know, you're there. Then it's easier to communicate, I find, when you're together. It's like, all right, I've just come up with this little. Oh, cool. Well, what if I do this with it? No, actually, how about you do this instead, and all that. You know, it must be a lot more difficult to communicate this way, you know, virtually.
It definitely was for me, because I'm that person. I go into the room and I got this, and I work with the drummer, and we're all fine. We're all bouncing off each other. And
I love that guy.
Yeah. Then when this happened, it was like, yeah, we can't do that anymore, Ross. And I was like, oh, how do I do it now?
Exactly.
It was a learning curve for me. I thought, okay, I have to sit here in front of a computer and go on Focusrite and do it this way, I guess. And you know,
yeah. It's surprising though, boys, what you can do. You know, you think to yourself, oh, I'll never be able to do that. Sod that shit, you know what I mean? But when you have to sit down in a fit of desperation, and it's like, right, I need to make music at the end of the day, you know? This is what I got to do. Right, this is what I got to do. Let's get the grips with a screen here and everything on it, and figure this shit out, like, you know? And clearly, you've managed to get the grips of it. You've managed to sort it out, and you've managed to produce an EP on the back of that. What's the EP called? Where can people get it?
Echoes EP, and you can get it on Amazon, iTunes. You can listen to it on Spotify. It's anywhere and everywhere. Any
form of music media, basically. Then, yeah, excellent stuff.
Music, it's all there.
Yeah, we do have some CDs. There's not that many left actually. Now we're very lucky that we've been able to kind of have such a huge amount of support with throughout the lockdown period. It's been really, you know, encouraging that there's been this appetite for new music, and it's been really kind of good in that sense. And so, you know, we do have CDs as well if people want them, but like get them quick because there's not that many left.
Excellent stuff. You heard it, your first guys, grab them
Yeah.
while you can, selling like hotcakes, the proverbial hotcakes. So you talked about a new lineup in the band as well, then. So first of all, talk us through the lineup of the band and introduce us to everybody who plays what. We know, Mike, we got you on guitar. Ross, we got yourself on bass. Talk us through the rest of the band. Who's who?
Well, our unfortunately, we are in the process of going through another lineup change because the drummer in our band, who is my brother, my dear brother, he's decided to take a step back.
Always fucking drummers, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, to be fair, dude, to be fair to him, like I think he's just at a point where he needs to kind of focus on other things at the minute, and
that's fair enough, man.
And yeah, it is what it is, you know. As much as we we all have a kind of a love of music and you know, the band in particular, it's you've got to do what's right for you at the end of the day, and we all respect that that's where things are at for him. And you know, we all decided as a group that was the best thing for everybody, in the sense that, you know, we really want to push forward, and at the moment things are such that it's not really that way for him right now. So yeah, it's kind of I think he's gonna benefit from being able to go and do the things that he wants to kind of focus on. And so right now we are actually recruiting for a drummer, so we are hoping to have that confirmed, you know, in the next few weeks, months, as soon as the auditions are kind of all gone through. But for now, the lineup is still including Ollie for drums, but he's pretty much standing in now for the gigs until we find a replacement.
I got you.
And then yeah, we got Luke on vocals. So so he's our lyricist extraordinaire, and yeah, vocal champ. But yeah, it's you know, to, like I say, going back to the lockdown thing, when we brought Luke into the band, we quite quickly understood that there was a chemistry, you know, with the songwriting. It kind of happened quite organically with Luke, and it really, you know, we have like a really good, I think, a really solid working relationship. So we can kind of tell each other, hey, no, that's not a great idea. Let's kind of rework it. Let's come at it from a different angle. So the dynamic of the band has actually been, I think, like, it as a positive change, you know, to kind of, to the sort of negative of lockdown, we've managed to work really well together in that sense. So I think as a unit, the band's been really quite strong. So it's a shame that Ollie's got to pull back at this point, but hopefully we'll have a new drummer quite soon, and we can move forward then with all of our, you know, like world domination plans.
That's what it's all about at the end of the day, man. Have you tried any drummers out yet, or is that coming up shortly?
It's coming up very shortly, actually. Yeah, we've got, in the next few days.
So you've got a few people lined up, yeah?
Few people, yeah.
Excellent stuff. I was in a band, Plasticine, a while back, right? And I used to front it. Drummers, I find, are worth their weight in gold. They're absolute weight in gold. And they're the most difficult band members to keep hold of, because what you find with drummers, or what I find with drummers, is, can you do this gig? Oh, I'm gigging with our band that night. What about this gig? Oh, no, I'm with our band that night. You know, I don't know if it's the same for you boys, but they like to spread their wings and their bass drums far afield, you know. But, well, good luck with it. I hope you find the right guy for the job, as I'm sure you will. There's plenty out there. I've been listening to your stuff. It sounds great. I was listening to one song earlier on, Pulling My Chain. Yeah, I watched a live version of that via your social media. Sounding great, boys, you know. So
thank you, man. Yeah.
You've got some gigs booked in, yeah? So tell us about them. Obviously, drummer pending, they are going ahead, and COVID pending, they are going ahead. So tell us what we got, where we can come and see you.
So we've got our first gig, obviously, as you say, as long as everything goes well, COVID and drummers, is in Scotland.
Oh, wow.
The Wildflower Festival. And we've never played in Scotland. I've never in my whole music career, if you want to call it that. I don't think Mike has either. So it's a first for all of us, I believe. So that's with Wildflower Festival. Really good lineup there, actually.
Incredible lineup.
The next day we're back in Cardiff, so we've got a bit of a weekend ahead of us, sort of going I don't know, 300 miles and then 300 miles back the same day, I think.
Same day,
oh wow, awesome. What date's that one?
So that's Friday 30th of July,
Yeah, and then you're in Fuel the night after, yeah?
Night after 31st for Stormbreakers, which is sort of like a kind of like a band comp to get into, I believe, Winter Storm festival. So we're there as well. So, and then after that, I think a week after that, we were in the Patriot Bar in Crumlin.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've been to the Patriots a few times. Yeah, great stuff.
Yeah,
So
we
that's
love the Patriots.
August the 7th, according to my notes, yeah?
August the 7th, yeah, with Haxon.
Yeah,
And then on the
Haxon.
21st of August is with Hardline in the Patty Pavilion in Swansea.
Oh, excellent. Great venue as well. Great band venue. Yeah, fantastic stuff.
We were there 2 years ago, I believe, or a year and a half ago, supporting Massive Wag. It was a great gig. Really, really good. Really, really good.
Wicked stuff, man. Wicked.
Yeah.
So, well, touch wood then, right? This desk is wood, okay? I promise. It's real wood. If not, just in case. But yeah, it's things are coming together. Things are going from strength to strength. So there's gigs coming back up for you guys. So hopefully they're all going to go ahead. Obviously, you'll be selling a bit of merch at them gigs. So what can we be looking for in a way of merch there, gents, as well? Obviously, I guess you're going to have copies of your CDs there. I've had a little look online. There's a few other bits and pieces. Tell us about your merch and tell us where we can get it.
Well, to be honest, if you go to the website ravenbreed.com, you'll be taken to our store basically, which has all of our merch on it at the minute, which you can get a range of different things. We've tried to put some packages together because we noticed that people like to kind of buy a few bits and pieces in one. So we put a couple of packages together that people can pick up. We have hoodies, t-shirts. We've got a few CDs left. Like I say, there's not that many. You can get a badge, a set of badges. I've got some here. I've got some badges.
Nice.
And like a patch as well. So you can get a patch to sew on and put on your cuts and stuff. Like bits and pieces along those sorts of lines. Yeah, I mean, the key for us is to be able to actually go out and play and do the gig thing. So it obviously it means so much for people to come and support us by buying the merch. That's huge for us because it makes a lot of the effort worth it. When you kind of when people actually want to buy into the thing that you kind of put your heart and soul into.
Definitely, man. Definitely.
It makes a huge difference. But obviously the key for us is right now we just want to gig. We just want to get out and play and see the people again.
That's it, man. Yeah, I guess you've been boxed as musicians. That's what it's all about, isn't it? It's about performance. But it's it's about writing. B, it's about performing what you've written. And just getting that buzz, getting that energy off a freaking crowd. Do you know what I mean? Virtual gigs are great, all right? When you're stuck in and everything and you can't do anything in a fit of desperation, yes, virtual gigs, they fill that gap to some extent, but there's no substitute, in my opinion anyway, and in my heart, for a live gig with a live audience. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. The energy you can get off a crowd back and forth it's great.
Definitely.
We love performing and just seeing everybody. And sometimes if we're, if there's a few who are shouting the lyrics, it's like, oh, you really do know our songs. But okay, cool. And man. The band starts getting more excited. So yeah, as you can tell, I really, really fucking miss it.
Well, not for long, man. Not for long. You'll be back there before long. You'll be traveling here, there, and everywhere in the van, moaning, putting the world to rights, thinking, oh God, we got another gig and all that, because before lockdown, I got there. I'm only in a covers band at the moment, right? But it's just a bit of dollar, and you'd still get a buzz when people are singing the songs that you're singing and all that as well. But I was at a stage where I was like, oh, another gig. Oh God, I just want to go out on the piss. Like, do you know what I mean? I just, so I'd find myself doing both, quickly getting pissed and then gigging, you know what I mean? And then quickly catching up before last orders. But I'd kill to be in that position again now where I'm thinking, another effing gig, I want that other effing gig now. I want all of them. Bring them on. But well, hopefully, guys, things are coming back to normal and they'll all go according to plan for you now.
And do you know what? In a roundabout way, right? We did a gig recently in support of the tour support guys that basically haven't been able to get a lot of work throughout the pandemic period because obviously musicians haven't traveled, artists haven't traveled, so they haven't been able to do the gigs. So that means the tour guys that put on those events and do all of the the sound engineering, lighting, filming, all of that stuff, like they haven't been able to work. And we found out about this cause effectively. The guys from House of Tours were putting on, and they put on an amazing show. Headline was Blaze Bailey, and we had like tons of really awesome bands.
Blaze
A couple
Bailey,
of our
Maiden.
good mates. Yeah.
Brilliant guy.
Really cool dude.
Awesome.
And we went up and played that gig, and they were telling us at the time that, you know, there's potential for things like that event to happen more frequently, with a combination of like a ticketed sort of thing and being streamed, or at least like live recorded as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if in some roundabout way COVID has had a positive impact on that thing, because you can kind of see the future in that. You can kind of see something like that taking off and being really like successful and really important for distributing music and sharing it with everybody. So I in a way, in a roundabout way, I can see that kind of thing being a positive knock-on effect.
There's a few positives like that come out of it, and it takes me back to a line from a Chili Peppers song: "Destruction leads to a very rough road, but it also breeds creation." And that's what I think COVID has done a lot, isn't it? It's breeded us musicians to focus, to write more, to make use of the digital stuff that's in front of us every day, which we normally shy away from. I do anyway. I wouldn't be doing this now if it wasn't for lockdown. Do you know what I mean? I never thought I'd be doing a podcast, but hey, here we are, and it's going great, you know? But yeah, it gives you some food for thought like that, doesn't it? There's some things which maybe you've never thought about before, which are like, hang on, this part works. So I'm not saying necessarily we're going to just focus on this part, but we can include this part into live gigs and everything as well. So hey, presto.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So where'd you come up with a name then, guys? Is there any significant meaning behind it, or who came up with that?
A bit of a collective idea, wasn't it, Mikey? Really?
Yeah. I mean, I think in general, when we put the project together, we were thinking about, we were coming up with all sorts of different ideas for names, but in particular, I think this was like mid 2017 when we were like getting our first EP recorded.
Is that when you first got together? Was this 17? Was it 2017?
Well, to be honest, the history of the band is probably a little bit like earlier than that, but it's this project, this band really started to kind of come together 2017.
That's when things started to click.
Yeah, it was kind of a situation where when we discussed names, we were all thinking about our interests and things that were kind of taking our imagination at the time. And I think Ross, if you remember, we were talking a lot at the time about Vikings, and I think that was like the theme was very similar across everybody. I think we all had a very
man after my own heart.
Yeah. And I think we started to get some ideas from just general talking about, oh well, you know, that's a really cool thing, and it's a topic that we were all kind of quite interested in at the minute, and seemed to characterize something. This character of the Raven sort of evolved in, I think, through conversation, and we just sort of started to play about with different ideas, different versions of the name. So yeah, it kind of evolved out of us all effectively, all of us having some sort of Viking roots of some kind.
Brilliant, man. That's awesome. It fits as well, then, doesn't it? You know, it fits. It spins off the tongue, and it's kind of an inquisitive name as well, which is why I asked the question, you know, where it came from. So it's an interesting bit of backstory behind that as well then. And I fucking love Vikings, do you know what I mean? It was brilliant, you know, fantastic. As you can see, I should have been an extra, you know. If you do another series, I'm right here, you know, right here. Brilliant. So your songs, do you all contribute to the writing of the songs, or have you got someone that takes the lead on that? Or
I think we all tend to, Ross. Would you say? We all tend to. I mean, you know, I'd say we probably all. Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
You go ahead, Mike. It's fine. It's fine.
Typical guitarist, hey Ross.
I'm stealing the limelight all the time. I was just, all I was going to say was that we tend to kind of gel with ideas quite quickly, or not. So we'll either kind of go, yeah, that's got legs in it, let's see where that goes, or we'll kind of look at something and don't think it's there yet, let's put that on the back burner and come back at it, you know, another time. But usually it tends to come from either Ross having a riff, me having a riff, or Luke having a song idea or lyric or like a melody or something, and then we just try to bounce it and see where it kind of goes. Brilliant. But Luke's really good at putting some, you know, chord structures together, and he tends to put I don't think he'd mind me saying sort of quite simple structures together in the sense that he has a melody idea, and he just finds chords that kind of work with that, and then we rip it apart and sort of try to build on that idea. That's kind of one of the processes that we use. But yeah, Ross, you've recently started doing more with like Guitar Pro and stuff.
Yeah, I've been weirdly writing more in MIDI and using a software called Guitar Pro, and you can put anything on it. You know, you can have guitars, drums, percussion, sort of jazz instruments, everything.
Yeah.
And I just sort of sit here with the bass and I sort of noodle with a riff, and then I can put drums to it, and then it makes it like I'm in that live room again. I'm just playing with the computer drums, right? So yeah, I'm sort of dabbling into that more and sending it to the guys recently, which you know, Luke loves to just write and have as many riffs as possible and just keep writing them, come up with song names and song titles. He loves it, you know.
Awesome.
Really poetic, and it's good because he's driving us to do it. You know, he yells at me like, write something, please give me something, you know. He's always, you know, as much as he's a front man and he leads the stage, and he also does push a lot behind as well. He's pushing us all the time. So yeah, you know, a lot of it is going on with writing. We're all writing. Mikey, you've had a few, and you'll get your phone out and start doing a guitar riff. So we're always writing, to be honest. Yeah, and
brilliant stuff. So everyone plays a part then, yeah.
Definitely, yeah. Everyone does play a part. On the EP, the Wasted Over You riff obviously starts with the bass, so I just came up with that in the practice, and then it went off from there. And the Pulling My Chain riff as well I had, and I was just playing with like wah and distortion and being like, oh, this will sound cool with guitar. And then we just take it and it goes on this journey, and it just happens. And then we finish it, we're like, oh, we got a song, great. Next.
Brilliant, man. That's the best way. The best way I always found is grab a load of shit, not in a literal sense, throw it at the wall. What sticks, what doesn't filters off and drips down. And then there's your song, you know. But brilliant stuff. So any stories from any gigs, gents? What's been your favorite gig to date?
Oh gosh.
And where would you like to play?
I mean, the thing is, we've been very lucky in that we've had some really cracking gigs. One of my favorites, and I remember, like Ross, you're probably gonna think you'll know what I'm gonna say, but one of my favorite gigs that we did was with Massive Wagons, as Ross mentioned earlier, because I'd said to the guys back in like 2018, early 2018, when we first started getting out and gigging and stuff, I just heard of Massive Wagons at that point. I was like, these guys are great. These guys are brilliant. We need to gig with these guys sometime, you know, not realizing they were kind of quite an established band at that time. And they then got signed to Earache, and like all of that really good stuff happened for them. And I was like, oh, well, they're kind of like out of our reach now. We're not going to be able to gig with those guys. That's never going to happen. And we got a chance at playing the gig, but the guy who managed to get us on the lineup didn't tell us who it was, like at first.
Oh no.
So
surprise.
So he was basically like, are you free? I need to know straight away. Are you free on this date? Can you do this date? And we were like, yeah, let me check. And you know, everybody was kind of like getting back, and there was more and more kind of like pressure. Come on, answer quickly, get back to me, you know, like this. And so we didn't find out until we actually said, yeah, we're all free, you know, we could do the date. And then he came back and said, you're on the bill with like Massive Wagons. And my jaw just dropped as soon as I saw that.
Hit the floor moment. Hit the floor with that jaw moment.
Yeah. Because I was like, holy cow, we're going to play with Massive Wagons. That is awesome. And they are like the nicest dudes you could ever hope to meet.
Brilliant,
like,
man.
They got time for anybody. Doesn't matter how big a band they are. You know, I can see them
real
being
people
like that. They're genuine, like really, really genuine. And yeah, great live band, you know, just all round top dudes. So I would probably go with that one, but we've had so many.
Yeah,
it's really hard to pick.
I think in the Blackpool gig, the first one with Luke, really, because that's when I kind of like a mix between the Blackpool one and then the one in Hangar 18, the last gig before lockdown, because that was the one where I looked at us playing on stage and I thought, it's really, this feels like it now.
Yeah.
How much Luke really like sat in, you know, and driving it forward. And I was like, you know, so it was kind of like, that's my most favorite gig on like a band level on the stage.
Yeah. It just felt like home. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, this is it now. And then lockdown. So there we go.
Yeah. So we've all suffered there, haven't we? But yeah, no, not for long. We're all right. We're heading in the right direction again now. Where'd you like to play, guys? Anywhere you'd like to play? Fancy playing in Merthyr or?
Oh, I'd love to play in Merthyr.
Yeah.
I'd love to do Cavarta Castle, you know, like somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, because they were putting on some really good events up there. for a while, and I could never seem to find out who to speak to try and get on the bills. I could never find out.
Yeah, I think it was Orchard Entertainment, I think, were behind it. They did have Craig David on there the one time as well, and just before it, he pulled out. He's like, "Nah, I don't want to play it." It's like, so come on, Craig, give us a chance, man. We ain't bad. We're all right. There's a good musical scene there, But we also have a regular gig called Merthyr Rising as well. On the main square in Merthyr, which has grown from strength to strength over the years. The organisers of that are running a big double band day on the 28th and 29th of August as well this year.
Oh, wow.
That's called Merthyr's Big Weekend. Might be worth having a little word, see if you can get on there, guys, I can put you in.
Yeah,
I can put you in touch with the people. I'm not sure if they're fully booked yet or not, but perhaps we'll have a look at that if you guys are free, that is.
Let's do it. If not, definitely next year, we can work something out.
Excellent stuff. 100%. Excellent. Cool. Well, stick around after this, so we'll have a quick chat. But cool. Let me just put out there, I'm not the organizer, all right? So, but I know where they are, and I can see you in the right direction. And then it's over to you guys, then, all right? But
awesome. Thank you, man.
Great stuff. So, really cool. Obviously, you've recorded some great stuff. You've done some great things. You've got a website, we've plugged that earlier on, ravenbreed.com, is that correct? I get that right?
It.
Yeah, excellent stuff. And on the socials, where can people find you if they want to have a look?
So everywhere is at Ravenbreed. So Instagram, Facebook, find us on Twitter, or at Ravenbreed. And we've also got a private group on Facebook where it's a little bit more personal, recently Luke has put in some videos of him just explaining the meaning behind songs, because some people like to know, others don't, but he's put it there anyway. And if anything in the future with gigs, we might have a small quick live video within the group of what we're up to or whatever. You can find us all around. I mean, if you Google us, we are the first ones that come up. So that's quite a good thing about the band name, is the Google search results are really, really small. So
excellent. Google us. If I tried that earlier, it does work, guys. It does work. You're up there. You're still up there. Nothing's changed today. You're all right. You're still on the top of your game, guys. All right. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for coming on and having a chat. All right. Before we wrap up, is there any plugs, acknowledgements, shout outs, anything that we might have missed out you want to chuck in there before we head to the hills?
I think just a massive shout out to all the organizers and venue owners at the moment, because I know how hard it's been for us as musicians, but Christ, it must be even harder for those guys. So, fair play to all of those guys, the event organizers and stuff that have been able to keep themselves afloat for what's been probably the longest 18 months of everybody's life.
Certainly there's.
So I think just a huge, shout out to all of those guys, and the fans, I think, will be very grateful once live music really does come back and starts to kind of go back to some kind of normal. Because I'm sure there's, we're itching to get out. So I can imagine there's probably quite an appetite for people for gigs at the moment as well. So yeah.
Definitely, man. Definitely. I echo that. Shout out to all of you guys. Yeah, brilliant. Ross, anything else from yourself, or you're good?
Well, it's from a forefront of being on social media. So I manage all the pages, and I do the interaction with a lot of people. So a huge shout out to them for just still supporting us. They're still buying merch. They're behind us all the way. And it's just thank you. Thanks for being there. And even sending us a message saying, hey, you guys haven't gigged. Are you guys good? What are you up to? And it's, we can get on that personal level with them. I just think it's great. It does feel like a family, and there's a lot of them just get together, and the support is there, and it's just thank you for being there for the band. Thank you.
Brilliant, man. Goes a long way, hell of a long way.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure having you on. Thank you for coming to see me. I'll hopefully bump into you sometime soon, possibly in Fewell, actually. I'm often down that neck of the woods, but what would be nice is if the organisers of Merthyr's Big Weekend were to get you on, if you guys were free and there was a slot available, that'd be really nice. So Lynn Williams, if you're listening, Ravenbreed. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you kindly to Ravenbreed. Thank you to Mikey. Thank you to Ross. Thank you to the rest of the band and the drummer, whoever he may be in the future. Ravenbreed, ladies and gentlemen, check them out online. Buy the EP. Don't be tight. Treat yourselves. This is the Caiman signing out. Woohoo!